Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving my views, thoughts, and opinions. And what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Don't mind the curtains. Gojo's just chilling. Look at that. Just chilling. And also, I'll be on with Raider Nation Unlimited featuring Wasted Talent later tonight. So go ahead, check that out. We're going to be talking about draft possibilities for the Raiders. Also, no live stream tomorrow. Just been real busy, you know, with the newborn and all. But let's go ahead and get into this, suckers. We're going to be going over one of my favorite people from Pro Football Network, in Ian Cummings. He has a mock draft, and of course, we are going to mock it. Special thanks to Underdog Fantasy for being today's sponsor. If you like weekly fantasy, or you like to do player prop bets, or just even pick'ems, and it's not just for the NFL, they got for other sports as well, then check out Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Broshmo, and they hook you up to start that betting journey, and it also helps out the channel. Also, bet responsibly. Bet responsibly, people. Let's go ahead and get into this sucker because I'm tired of seeing this dude's face. Don't know who he is. But let's get into this. The draft order for this mock draft is taken from the current standings. Look at that. If you're mad at the standings, tell your team to quit sucking. All right. Let's get past these ads with the first pick being the well, I guess we could talk about two picks at once, but we got the Houston Texans going Bryce Young. That's kind of a no-brainer to me. That's, you take the best quarterback prospect on the board. Fun fact, it's Bryce Young. Really dependent on the team. They're not going to love his size or any. They're not going to love his size, but it kind of is what it is. You know, like either that's a make or break for you. If you happen to be one of the people that's like, that's just too detrimental for what you're looking for, then that's fine. That's fine. So I understand those people as well. Las Vegas Raiders do take Will Anderson, and let's see. They may be in position to do the hardest reset and pick a quarterback. For now, Raiders fans prefer best player available. Okay, so yeah, I could kind of vouch for this. Yeah, Raider fans prefer to go with Will Anderson here, which is, I mean, that's fine, but it means moving forward with Derek Carr, who's not been bad this year, but he just hasn't been that good. This is, I think, his worst year since his rookie season, and I mean, there's a lot of things that play into that, but if you are picking two here and you got a chance at either Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, I think you might take it. Listen, I know some people are like, well, Davante Adams just came to the Raiders because of Derek Carr. He was traded to the Raiders. The Raiders were willing to give up significant capital to get him, and they were willing to give him the money that he deserves. I don't feel like Derek, if Derek Carr is no longer the quarterback there, that would suck. But I don't think that's the nail in the coffin for Davante Adams either. I think ultimately Davante Adams wants to win. So if this team is like, let's move on, let's try to get our next franchise quarterback or get an upgraded quarterback, I think he's going to be okay with that. So I don't know. It got a problem with the whole Davante thinking that, oh, if Carr leaves and Adams leaving as well, then I don't know. Maybe we just don't see eye to eye on that. I haven't found anything to say that Adams would leave. The only reason Adams came to Las Vegas was because of Carr. I haven't seen anything that was it. It just seemed to be a perk, but it is what it is. Will Anderson, also a phenomenal prospect if they want to go with him, but I'm kind of leaning to quarterback right now for the Raiders, but we still got a long ways to go before the draft. Right, Carolina Panthers take CJ Stroud, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. I feel like quarterback is kind of, if you're the Raiders, you should be going quarterback. And I feel like it puts Carolina in this weird position at 3 that people just, you know what, no, they got Derek Carr, just give the Raiders an edge. And it allows the number 2 quarterback to fall to 3 here. I don't think it happens like that. I think they're going to go 1 and 2. for the most part. But Panthers, yeah, you don't have your quarterback of the future on the roster. If you're Carolina, you're really hoping to get that guy in the draft. CJ Stroud would be phenomenal. Guy's got prototypical size, got an NFL arm. He can throw some pretty passes, and he's actually very quick with getting the ball out of his hands. All right, on to Philadelphia Eagles. Myles Murphy, man. I'm more on the, hey, Jalen Carter's real sexy. Reunited him with Jordan Davis. I like that a lot. But, okay, yeah, they could probably, honestly, anywhere on the defensive line, they could probably add some more youth and some more talent. They like deep rotations anyway. So I lean with Carter just because I have him higher on my board by like a spot compared to Myles Murphy. But Murphy's a good prospect as well. A lot of upside. This one's weird. So the Jaguars go Jackson Smith and Njigba. Because, listen, basically, you're getting a guy that are, like, Christian Kirk's already that slot guy there. He already is. Like, Jackson Smith and Njigba, just, he's not a fit. He's not a good fit. They've already invested so much money at Christian Kirk, and that's their slot guy. They love Christian Kirk in the slot. If you're the Jags and you want to look for a receiver, keep in mind they do have Calvin Ridley coming to town next year to pair up. Also, they got Zay Jones. So if they do want to go receiver, I feel like it'd be an outside guy. And I think this is far too high for Jackson Smith and Njigba. The guy is, for all intents and purposes, slot only. He's only really played in the slot. Like, I think over 90% of his snaps have come in the slot, dated back to last year. He's been hampered by a hamstring. I don't think that plays a big role. I think you just look at the guy at what he is. Looks like a slot only. Also doesn't have that high-end athleticism for the wide receiver position. That's not a death nail. We've seen Cooper Kupp. A guy that, yeah, he didn't test out that well, but the dude plays fast. And I think Smith and Njigba is kind of in the same, you at least can consider very similarly. But Jags don't like this pick too much. To the Chicago Bears, go Paris Johnson. I do agree that Braxton Jones has shown some flashes. Some of y'all are low on receiver for the Bears. I think y'all are crazy. Like Quentin Johnson, some of y'all think that's a reach at this aspect. Like, he might be the only top, like, receiver that could probably, you can make a case for in the top 10. He really is. But, like, that receiving core by no means is finished whatsoever. It really isn't. So, I think that should at least. Listen, okay, this pick should be Jalen Carter, but Jalen Carter, I imagine, won't be on the board. It'll come down to what do you want to do for Justin Fields on the offense. I think that's what it really comes down to. Some of y'all think the offense is figured out when you have poor Justin Fields scrambling out of his mind trying to figure out what to do and where to go. So it's like, no, get the guy more help, get the guy more talent. Your receiving core is not that good. Mooney, Claypool, and honestly, that's about it. You got a bunch of complementary pieces that really probably wouldn't even make other NFL rosters. Like Dante Pettis is a guy that teams will sign in the middle of the year because they've had injuries at receiver. And he's what, your receiver 3? Like, come on. Anyway, Detroit, well, I guess we could talk Paris Johnson. If you feel like you can get at least a better quality prospect than Broderick Jones, or you could honestly start playing this like carousel where maybe you move Jones to right tackle, move Larry Borum into guard, move Whitehair back into center, a place that he's played before. But Borum's been really good at right tackle, so it's like, I don't know. Paris Johnson, really good, though. I think he might end up as a top 10 pick. Detroit gets Jalen Carter, best player on the board. Defense is kind of dog water, so yeah, that's a good pick. Brian Barazi going to the Seattle Seahawks. I like this pick for a plethora of reasons. He gives them a little stank on the interior there, a guy that can play 3-tech, 5-tech along that attack in 3-4 for the Seattle Seahawks. So he's probably the best player on the board at this point as well. So I like the pick here. Houston Texans go Jordan Addison. So this feels like just kind of a replacement for Brandon Cooks because it sounds like he might be going elsewhere after the offseason. I don't know. We'll find out. Addison, it's kind of fringe top 10. Where do I have him specifically on my big board? Like, I guess it's not so bad. I got him at 12. So, honestly, that could honestly turn into 15. Like, these guys I have at 12 to 16 are kind of interchangeable on my big board. I think I'll release my big board next week. Maybe it's like a top 100. Just because as you continue to add guys in, you kind of want to reshuffle what you got going on your big board, or at least on your rankings. I don't know. We'll see. To the Pittsburgh Steelers, Peter Skoronski. Someone tried to make the case Mason Cole is the best center in the league. Not even make a case. It was just a blanket statement. He's playing good. Don't know if he's exactly top 10. Like, he's fringe top 10. Dude ain't even a top 5 center in the league, so calm down. And I bring that up because Skoronski can play anywhere on the offensive line. He's very technically sound, very strong. Tackle. He might end up being a guard. That's kind of going to be the discussion with Skoronski. Like, not exactly a high-end athlete for the tackle position. The length might be a problem. But, like, he brings a lot of versatility, and I think he could do whatever Pittsburgh wants him to do out the gates. And I think having that versatility is kind of key, especially a guy that you think could definitely play tackle. And guess what? Tackle, kind of a position that Steelers could probably upgrade. Detroit Lions with their second pick, Noah Sewell. Oh, this one's early. This one's too early. Noah Sewell is taking a stumble down my board. The play hasn't been great, but now, honestly, who he is, like, as a player in terms of a very good athlete at 250 that plays with exceptional physicality. That might be too much to pass up. I think it's enough to pass up in the first round. So this one feels way too early. So I get it. You get that to play next to Malcolm Rodriguez because that mid linebacker spot's kind of a problem for Detroit. What you got, Alex Anzalone playing there or something, but this is just too early for Sewell, in my opinion. But I could see him honestly sinking it into the first round just because how good of it, like how fast he plays at 250. All right, Atlanta Falcons take Bijan Robinson. It's sexy, but I don't think it's exactly what the Falcons need. I would go for a more valuable position. But keep in mind with Arthur Smith as the coach here, he might look at a guy like Bijan and be like, man, I could definitely use some of that. But I think they probably go somewhere maybe addressing the defense, or even if like Addison's here, getting a speedier receiver, especially since you just moved on from Ridley. So it's my thoughts. Keely Ringo going to the Cardinals, kind of a no-brainer. Cardinals, they're either going to take pass rush or add some depth to the cornerback room, or at least I think those are the most logical places they could go. Keely Ringo for me is the top corner just because he just has so much, like, he's just a tremendous athlete in terms of speed at that size. You don't expect it. There are questions about his lateral ability, but I'm kind of fine with where he's at right now. Green Bay Packers take Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, for all intents and purposes, should be like a top 20 guy. Will he go in the top 20? Like, I don't know. We'll see. Robert Tonyan is a free agent, so Graham Mayer, honestly, for a team that never really gets receivers, it would make sense to get a tight end. Cam Smith going to the Washington Commanders. Benjamin St. Juste has been a pleasant surprise. Guess he's playing more outside now. He started the year in the slot, played well there. Now I guess he's playing more outside with William Jackson gone. But yeah, he's been good, but adding more depth to that cornerback room go a long way. Cam Smith is that depth. I like that. Good ball skills from this cat. I mean, the ball skills, you don't see it that much this year because they throw away from my dude. They're just throwing it away from my guy. Indianapolis Colts take Will Levis. This is going to be a popular mock spot for Will Levis because we know Irsay loves tools. Will Levis, some teams, I think, going to take a shot on him because of the tools. Comes from a offense that's very translatable to the NFL. And honestly, he works well within that offense. We saw parts during the later stretch of 2021 where he looked a lot more, much more smooth going through progressions and such. Really haven't seen it this year. We've seen it in parts, but never for like the whole duration of a game. The decision making obviously needs to get better, but coaches are gonna look at him like, man, we could like he's got the tools. We'll figure it out what's going on between the years with him. So yeah, Will Levis, I think he's just outside my top 20. But he's going to go in the top 20, let's be honest. Unless he has an abysmal Senior Bowl. Cincinnati Bengals take Broderick Jones. Jonah Williams. It's expected to be blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they did pick up Williams' 5th year. Does that go into 2023? Because, like, Jonah Williams has been kind of, like, fine. Like, he's bad against really good talent. Yeah, he plays through 2023. Leo Collins hasn't been that good. Don't know if Bengals are coming off a bye, so I don't know if he's exactly turned it around. But grabbing Broderick Jones, honestly, like, it at least gives you a better chance at like figuring out or at least just adding competition to the tackle spot, and you're hoping 2 of the 3 kind of hit. So I understand it. Trent Simpson going to the Patriots. People love the idea of Simpson being this like crazy versatile weapon that Bill Belichick could deploy, and honestly I'm not against it. I'm not. He's my top linebacker in this class. Anthony Richardson going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one's interesting. So I guess in this scenario, they bring back Tom Brady. He plays behind Tom Brady as you kind of work on him. Like, dude, he's such an enigma in this class right now that, like, if he comes out, like, I think a team late in the first might take a swing at because the tools are just immense. But even if he doesn't put it all together as a passer, like, he's such a threat with his legs that he just brings a certain type of playmaking that's hard to shut down in the NFL. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Anthony Richardson. I think he's one of the most interesting guys in this class. Denver Broncos take BJ Ojulari. I actually kind of like this. A guy with this type of production, Ojulari just flies off the edge. I mean, you kind of instantly add him to the rotation of Randy Gregory and Baron Browning. So, I don't know, that's kind of good. Jonathan Cooper's been good also for the Broncos. So, yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I forgot about Nick Benito. Oh, golly, dude. Pass rushers for days. Why not go with Olu Fashanu? Maybe that would be a little bit good. And then Brandon Joseph. Wow, there are some people really high on Brandon Joseph, and I love Brandon Joseph. I just think he ends up moving to, like, slot or corner because I think he does his best work around the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, no, like, he needs to clean up as a tackler if you want him as, like, a box safety. But, like, I don't know, man. That'd be kind of interesting. I think it's a bit early for Brandon Joseph. I kind of have him in that 70 range. I think there's just better safeties in this class at this point. He really hasn't been able to replicate the ball skills from 2020, so I don't know. We'll see. Antonio Johnson going to the Chargers. I like this because he brings a lot of interesting length. Physicality. He's a very smart zone safety. A guy that played a lot in the slot, playing more of a traditional safety role now. So, My question is, does he come in and immediately kind of play in the slot? But they got Brian Callahan for that. So I don't know, man. This one's a bit interesting because I don't think he's not a Nazir Adderley replacement. You know, he doesn't have the type of range that Adderley has. Jordan Battle going to the Jets. I often put Brian Branch here. This time it's Jordan Battle for Ian Cummings here. Safety's kind of a issue for the Jets, and I know it's not one a lot of people think about, but if you're able to grab a guy, and this is why I love Brian Branch, because he would work in a similar role as LaMarcus Joyner, where he could play in the slot but also play deep. Battle, I don't think he's a guy that exactly can play deep, but he can definitely play from like too high. So like Battle's very interesting. Honestly, I feel like I might want him to go to a more man-oriented scheme, but kind of is what it is. Jahmyr Gibbs going to the Bills. I don't think, for me, there's only one first-round running back right now in this class. I know the Bills is kind of a luxury pick, and they have tried, or at least they've invested in trying to get better at the running back position. Their second-round pick last season. James Cook was a running back, if you didn't know. They brought in Naheem Hines. Do they extend him? That's the big question. They still got Devin Singletary, so it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's other places they could address here, like Olufashanu, man. You could bring him in, and you could take over for, what is this, Spencer Brown, the former Northern Iowa guy. That's been playing right tackle there. He actually hasn't been doing so hot this season. I want to say it's Spencer Brown. Let me go confirm. It is Spencer Brown. Okay. Yeah, like he hasn't been that good this season, dude. He's allowed 18 pressures, 4 penalties. And that's only through 7 games, as they've had David Quisenberry play in a couple as well. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I think you could upgrade there. Olufashanu is good value here. Brian Branch kind of makes sense from a safety regard. So it's like, there's a lot of different ways they could go. If they want to shore up the guard spot, because they brought in Saffold, but looks like he might be past his prime. Ryan Bates has been manageable. So maybe Osiris Torrance makes a lot of sense here. And Clark Phillips going to the Ravens. This is, I think, an atrocious scheme fit, because this cat is, he's an off coverage zone corner in my opinion, which is very counter to what a lot of what the Ravens run typically. He's not going to be a press guy at 5'10", 185. You love how he processes the field. I think he's better than you expect athlete as well, but I think he's made for off zone coverage. So I don't like the fit here. Have we seen Joey Porter or Christian Gonzalez? I don't think so. Isaiah Foskey going to the Titans here. I think they kind of got their rotation there. I don't think they necessarily need to take Foskey here. I mean, it's a good value at this point, but Olufashanu, you have a tackle problem. So I think that would probably be where I would go here. Because, I mean, Rashad Weaver's played exceptionally well this year. Danico Autry's been doing good. Keep in mind, Harold Landry does return from injury. They're still right now paying Bud Dupree, so it's like, I don't know, they kind of got a lot going on at that position. Joey Porter going to the Cowboys, kind of a steal at this point. Just kind of a steal. I think he's a good fit for the scheme as well. So, not much to talk about. Great athlete, great length. I like it. Henry To'oTo'o going to the Giants. I'm not in love with this linebacker class, To'oTo'o. Going back and watching more of his recent stuff, he's kind of, I don't know, he looks more the same from last year, opposed to starting the year out playing really well. But the dude's a good athlete. He probably goes somewhere on day 2. I just think this is a bit of a reach here. Maybe you go with a corner. Dory Jackson's probably not the future there. So maybe grab more. And even if they do retain Jackson, you need more help on the outside. So, like Christian Gonzalez, kind of a thought here. Another guy that'd be really good for Wink Martindale. Gervin Dexter going to the Vikings here. I think this is all right. They get more help on that defensive interior. They got Tomlinson and what is it, Harrison Phillips, right? Or am I just making that up? Yeah, let's go see. No, they got Harrison Phillips. Harrison Phillips is playing a hella good this year. So is Tomlinson. Obviously, Blaylock, man. Blaylock's a bust. They got, what is it, Chris Tonga, the former BYU big boy. James Lynch, is he playing? Nah, he plays more on the interior. I thought so. I was like, he's kind of a bit of a tweener. So Gervin Dexter would be a good addition if you're looking for a bit more upside on the interior there, or if you don't plan to bring back guys like Tomlinson or Phillips. So I think it's interesting. I like Dexter a lot. All right, Kansas City, they take Felix Enudike Uzama. This dude's having a really good season. I like how much power this guy plays with. I think he's got decent bend too. Might not be the high end athlete that you would want at the edge position, or at least in terms of a first rounder. But when we're talking about late in the first round, I think that's fine. They need help in the pass rush. I like it. And then Eli Ricks going to the Eagles. Big fan of Eli Ricks. I'm hoping he comes back. He had the concussion, I believe, or at least he went into concussion protocol. So I think he was listed as day-to-day. So hopefully we can see him the remainder of the season. Has he done enough just yet to get back into the first round? Not entirely positive, but like you like this guy's length. You like his ability to play the ball. So, excuse me, I think he'd be a good fit for the Eagles. Also, Christian Gonzalez also would be a pretty fine fit here, but I think that's it. Yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.